So welcome to Topsy's Spitfire flying controls for flight simulators, which I will be commercializing under the brand Spitfire Histories. The equipment uses Arduino chipset, and that is hidden in this remote control unit, radio remote control unit here. You can see all the cables coming up. So the purpose of this film is to show you that everything is now wired up and working, and on the screen you can see that the gear is under the name of Arduino Leonardo, which is the brand of the chipset, and here you can see that I've got the testing parameters up for the set, just to show you that everything's working. So here you've got the control column. You've seen this before, so let's go straight into the testing phase. So here I'm putting it back and going forward. You can see that I'm doing the same movements underneath, and it's working on the screen, left and right, so that's fine. The buttons on here, there's the top button and the bottom button. The top button, if we look on the screen, is number 1, the bottom button is number 2. The switch hidden underneath, which is the safety switch, which you can see just there. When you operate this, that operates button number 3, which you can see on the screen here. So I'm flicking it on and off here, and that can be used as a safety switch for the guns or assigned to anything else that you want. Coming back to the thing, the brake lever is on a slider here, and that is the Z-axis that you can see on the top of the screen there on the tester. So that about covers the functions on the joystick itself, on the control column. So you've got aft, forward, left, right, the brake lever, the 2 buttons here, and the safety button underneath. So that covers that. Now let's go to the throttle quadrant. So this button here is the speak button, and that is lighting up on the screen as number 6. The fuel cutoff activates a switch about halfway along its course, which is useful in some flight simulators like DCS, but in fact the switch can be assigned to anything you like. I've assigned it in Cliffs of Dover to operate the gear. So going forward is gear up, and you can see on the screen that this is flashing number 8. Sorry, I need to open the tester again. So as you go through that switch, it's number 8 here, which is lighting up. So that's the fuel cutoff. The actual throttle quadrant itself is going forward here. This is the bottom slider on the screen here, so you can see that's working. The rudder, well, that's standard. I've got some CH rudder pedals here, so those are working. Now the what is called rudder up here is in fact the trim, and that's the rudder trim here, this little button rudder down here. So when I turn this backwards and forwards, that is operating what we call rudder. In fact, it's the rudder trim and not the rudder. The elevator trim here is in fact the X rotation axis. Sorry, it keeps cutting out. So the X rotation axis is here, and that's then fully operational. It's actually quite sensitive, and I can actually fly quite well with this, and just a little movement left and right or up and down to control pitch works fine. So now the one that's left is the propeller pitch control, which is under here, air screw control, and that's moving forwards and backwards on the screen. That's the Y rotation axis that you can see there. So that's fully forward and fully reversed. In the actual game, it gets switched around, so you can program to reverse it. And then the other buttons that I've got programmed here are on this remote controller unit. So This button here is number 12 on the screen, the off button, and the other buttons here all light up a little LED so that you know they're operating. But you can see that on the screen this is lighting up as number 11, this one is lighting up as number 10, number 10, oh, so it's jumped again. So number 10, oh sorry, that was number 10, 11, 12, 10. Button C is actually number 5 on the screen. And button D down here, which lights up as well, is number 7 on the screen. So when I supply the kit, you will get a decoding of all this so that you know which button is which. And at the moment everything is now working. So I've been doing some flying already with it, and a bit later I'll do a little video about flying. But this is just to show that as everything gets hooked up, everything is now functional. Now it's just a question of adjusting the sensitivity settings and things like that. So latest update, the flying control column and assorted accessories on the left hand side of the cockpit here are now properly working. And one of the things we'll probably do is on this bit of panel here, which is curved and riveted, this is the place where World War II pilots put their kills, in this sort of area here, and then probably they had a name or something in this sort of area down here. So that'll be personalizable, so you can put your own squadron markings on there, or your own girlfriend's name, or whatever you want, and your kills. So that's the end of this video for now. See you soon.